Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well indeed. The channel has been doing fantastic over the last few weeks and months. We've hit 20,000 subscribers earlier this week. So if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. It costs you nought, hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. Give us a thumbs up. Always nice to get thumbs up, guys. Give us a thumbs up and make some comments in the comment section below. I love reading your comments and your opinions, and I do reply to most of them. You don't need to be a member to get me to reply and to talk to you. If we ever do a live stream, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's in the same boat. And Bernard and Patrick out there, mates of mine, who said, I've lost my soul. Well, I haven't lost my soul. I'm the same bald old fella, bald, boring old git as I've ever been for the last few years. Anyway, this video is a hobby horse of mine. It's a pet hate of mine, is the way fans have been treated by the football authorities. I've talked about this before and talked about the way clubs treat their own fans. But I'm talking about the FA Cup. Ever since City, we were drawn against away at Spurs in the FA Cup, and then they brought the fixtures out. It's a scandal, an absolute scandal. Looking at the distances fans have to travel for games at unusual times. Now, I don't mind it a 3 o'clock game. I'm going to go along with that. If you're traveling a long distance for a 3 o'clock game, that's fine. But I'm just going to go through some of the FA Cup ties, the confirmed FA Cup ties, okay? I'm just looking at the ones where I know which of the two clubs are. I'm not going to look at the ones where we don't know because obviously there's still some replays to take place. Let's have a quick look at the FA Cup, okay? So I could have a look at that. I could look at the fixtures as well, okay? So once the replays are out of the way, we're looking at the fourth round, okay? Let's look at the fourth round and see what we know, because obviously there's some we don't know. Okay, you've got on a Friday, the 26th of January. Fridays are a busy travel day. Trust me, it's a busy travel day. I used to remember going to work in Lincoln, and on a Friday, it'd take me 2 hours to get there. Coming back, 3 hours. So I'm going in rush hour in the morning, 2 hours. Coming back, 3 hours. Friday's always terrible for traffic. You can add 1 or 2 hours to your trip. So we got Chelsea home to Aston Villa. Now, you could argue, well, Aston Villa playing Chelsea or West London, it's at least 2 to 3 hour trip on a Friday. You're going to have to either take the day off work or half a day. You're going to have to get out early to go there. This is the one that's a killer. Tottenham against Manchester City. 8 o'clock kickoff. 8 o'clock kickoff. You want to get a train? Forget it. You're going to have to stay over. The last train home leaves whilst the game's still taking place. Even if you're driving down, the game will finish at 10 o'clock. By the time you're out, you get to your car, it could be 11 o'clock, 4 hours to get back home, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's ridiculous that they're playing on a Friday night. And you're going to have to take basically the day off work. You're not easily going to get to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for an 8 o'clock kickoff. You've got to aim to get there about by 7. Well, you can't leave at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll be leaving at 1 in the afternoon, I reckon. 1, it's going to take you 5 hours, gets you there at 6, between 6 and 7. You've not got a lot of time. If there's an accident on the motorway or anything like that, no consideration for the fans. We go into the Saturday. Okay, I can only look at some of these as well. Ipswich at home to Maidstone Town. Now, Maidstone to Ipswich is the best part of thick end of 2 hours. So for a 12:30 lunchtime kickoff, let's say you want to get there by 11:30. It's not too bad you're leaving home at 9. That's okay. As I said, the 3 o'clock kickoffs, I'm not going to worry about them. The 3 o'clock kickoffs, I think, are quite reasonable. There are some big distances. Leeds to Plymouth, for instance, but at least it's a 3 o'clock middle of the day. Fulham, 7 p.m. kickoff to Newcastle. 7 p.m. Okay. Again, you want public transport? I think you can do one. Okay. You're going to struggle with public transport. That game is going to finish at 9 p.m. You're not going to get a train back, I guess, to the northeast. So you're forced to stay over or drive through the night and take the day off. All right, if you're not Saturday, so most people won't be working. But if you work weekends, you're going to take the day off. So that's another terrible one. You can argue at least it's a Saturday. You can go out on the town and make a weekend of it. But why should you? Why should you have the extra expense of a hotel? Okay, the Sunday games, I don't know who but you got. I guess there's going to be some tough ones. West Brom, whoever West Brom are playing, it's 11:45 in the morning. Okay, I'm looking at the BBC website. It doesn't tell you who they're actually playing, so you don't know. So I don't know. It's not easy to find out, but that's going to be tough for whoever's going on, unless it's a local game. 11:45 morning kickoff. Are you taking the mick? It really is taking the mick. So West Brom, let's have a look. I'm going to find out who they're playing. They're playing Brentford or Wolves. If they're playing Wolves, it's not too bad. Local derby. Great stuff. If they're playing Brentford, still going to be 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get there for an 11:45 kickoff. You want to be there by, say, 10:30, yeah? You're leaving home at 8 in the morning, 7:30. It's hard work. It's hard work. Okay, Man United. Okay, we hate Man United. Who cares? But we're going to be fair to everybody. Man United's game. Okay, let's have a look at Man United's game and see when that is. Man United's game is on the Sunday. Okay, they're away to Newport or Eastleigh. It's a 4:30 kickoff. So if Man United fans have to go to Eastleigh, all right, I know that most of them live in London, it's not a big deal. But if you're from Manchester, the few Manchester United fans that do live in Manchester, and you go to Eastleigh, South Coast, let's say it's a 4-hour trip. A 4:30 kickoff, I think it is, finishes at 6:30. Back at your car, you're not getting home till midnight. It's not great for kids who've got school the next day. It's terrible. Liverpool, they're playing on Sunday. I think it's more of a reasonable time. They're playing at home to Norwich or Bristol Rovers. Norwich is, trust me, I've done that trip. It's a long distance. For fans, it's a 2:30 kickoff. At least it's a reasonable time of the day. But this is the thing. We've discussed this before. Football fans don't really count anymore. They don't mean anything to administrators. Yes, we're a good source of money, but when you look at the overall picture, City, off the top of my head, okay, the last set of accounts, £712.8 million turnover. The fans, match day income is, let's say it's 65 million. It's not even 10% of our total turnover. You got someone like Bournemouth, okay, not having a go at Bournemouth, I'm just saying, their match day income is very, very small because they've got about 11,000 seat stadium, and they're going to play about 20 home games a season. City play 30. That does make a huge difference, those extra 10 games in Champions League, FA Cups, League Cups and all that. So it does make a big difference to City. But Bournemouth are lucky to be playing more than 20 games a season, 21, 22. City could be playing, as I said, around 30. But they've got such a small stadium. Most of Bournemouth's money is coming from TV money. Okay, so their percentage of turnover, is going to be tiny. It's going to be tiny. Probably 6, 7, 8% of their total turnover is from gate receipts. I actually think it's going to be a lot less than that. If I'm not going to work the numbers out. They might all be getting 20 or 30 million quid from gate receipts. Well, if your turnover is 150 and you're getting 10 million, it's 150, it's 6 or 7%. It's not a huge amount. But we saw during the lockdown when stadiums were empty, there was no atmosphere. So you can't survive without the fans. Fans have got to be there, but they're hurting us and they're hitting us. And now the City fans, some City fans boycotted the Community Shield against Arsenal because we said the timing was terrible for us. And even though they changed it a little bit, it's still a terrible thing on a Sunday afternoon, to get back home. But what you find happened, City will say, hey, we sold out or whatever. You get fans who may be living in London who want to go. You got some neutrals who join the City membership scheme and get a ticket. You get fans from overseas who say, hey, this is an opportunity. And it's good for them. It's an opportunity because there's so many tickets available and people are not going that we can go to this game. Now, so you could argue the fans boycotting it. It does open it up to newer fans who are maybe not getting the opportunity in the past because they don't have the points or whatever. or whatever the reasons are. But unless fans stick together, you're not going to change anything. Now, the way to get around that was fans boycott the game, and if you have 50,000 people turning up in a 90,000 seat stadium, one, you're not selling 40,000 tickets. And even if those tickets are, let's say, an average 50 quid each, it's 2 million quid. FA are not getting that money. Okay. And it's a bunch of charities, apparently. But the world who are watching that spectacle will see a half-empty stadium. It's not good for the spectacle. You're not going to get the noise unless they pipe it in over the speakers. And visually, you're not going to see those fans. So it does have an impact. But the problem is, if one set of fans don't take the tickets, other fans will turn up and they'll take the tickets. So you get a different atmosphere anyway, because you've got these, it might be a full stadium, but you've got some of the, I don't say this in a derogatory way. The tourist fans don't make the same sort of noise as your local fans. But what's going to happen with this Spurs game? A lot of people aren't going to go. Okay, a lot of people just say, I can't go on a Friday, can't take the day off, can't get, and you're not getting a lot of time. So they told us yesterday, the 11th. Okay, game is on the 28th. That's 17 days. Some companies say, oh, you need to be booking time off a month in advance, 3 months in advance, or whatever. We can't do it at short notice. Okay, so it's a lot of people are not going to go. That is actually, it's a funny thing, but we could get up to 8,000 or 9,000 tickets, because the way the league games go, you get, I can't remember the numbers, but we're looking to get 4,000 or 5,000. Again, I don't even think we get that. We normally aim for about 3,000, but in FA Cup you get up to 15%, or 9,000, whichever is the lower. So if we were playing at Man United, they may be able to hold, let's say, 75,000. We will not get 15%, which is about 11,000 tickets. We probably get 7 or 8. They'll say security and all this rubbish. Okay, so Spurs will get 8,000 or 9,000 tickets. Now, we might not sell out, but what it does do actually is, one, you've got a huge number of tickets, okay, which we would probably normally have sold out. If that had been on a Saturday, any time on a Saturday, I think we'd sell out. What it does, it gives opportunities, again, to people who don't regularly go. Now, if you don't regularly go, you're not able to go to many away games. It's getting harder and harder to go to away games, especially where the tickets are restricted, where there's only a few tickets available. You're going to take the opportunity to go to games when you get the chance. So fans may say, well, we need to boycott this game. We need to boycott this game. But other fans will say, oh, hang on. You want to boycott it because it's affecting you, but it's benefiting me. If I've only got a few thousand points and I can't get to away games, I've got the opportunity. Maybe I want to go. Because this is the other thing with fans. A lot of fans, sad to say, unless it's hurting them, they don't care. Unless it's hurting them personally, they don't care about their fellow fan who's missing out. I said this 5 or 6 years ago. I talked about what clubs are doing, and it's unfair on certain groups of fans. People didn't care, because the people who were benefiting from the system, they're not going to complain about the system. I used to complain about the system, but I used to still benefit from the system. A bit of jiggery poker here and there. I still benefit from this is for away tickets. I used to still benefit occasionally from things that you could get away with. But it's not right. So because people, and one of the things with away tickets, I use Man City as an example, it's getting harder and harder to get away tickets. The points requirements are going up and up and up. And I think people who could go to games 3 or 4 years ago, the same game now, they can't go to because they haven't got enough points. But even though they may have been going to pretty much all the games in between, they haven't got enough points because maybe there's a fewer tickets available. Maybe there's, with all the corporate stuff, that's where it's going. People club might want to dispute this and all that, but if you're paying 10 grand a year for a place at the Tunnel Club, you're paying 10 grand a year hospitality at City. If you want a couple of away tickets, maybe I can't say for definitive because the club will deny it, but maybe they give you some tickets. I mean, I know I went to a game a few years ago at Fulham. People there were getting tickets from people who got tickets to corporate hospitality. That's what they said. They didn't have the points to go themselves, but they had a mate who had corporate hospitality at City. This is what they said, and they got the tickets through them. Because, and it sounds right. It stands to reason. Club want to, if you're paying 10,000 quid, okay, as opposed to me, who's paying whatever 400 quid. Who are they going to be nice to? Who are they going to be nice to? So you know how it works. So whether the club will probably say, "Oh, it doesn't happen like that." Well, okay, fair enough. I just know from my own experience, my own example, I can't go to as many games as I used to 5 years ago. Okay, yes, I haven't been to as many games. My points haven't gone up correspondingly with others who have been to more games because work-wise, I work a lot of weekends now, work a lot of Saturdays, so I've not been able to amass. Well, the points system has changed because I don't think you get points for away games now. But I can't get as many points. I can't get to as many away games as I did in the Centurion season or the season after. I went to at least 30 games. I don't tend to go to Europe because young kids in school and everything else. And with my work, especially at the moment, I do a lot of touring. In school holidays, I'm on tour a lot. I look at February, I'm on tour for about 10 days in Ireland, in Northern Ireland. March, I'm going over again for work. April, I've got 3 weeks on tour in April. Very hard to go to football matches when you've got 3 weeks on tour. May, I've got a tour I might have a tour for a week. Summer, okay, I've got lots of work there. But get to October, I'm on tour. Last September, I was away for about 3 weeks. So I'm not getting the opportunity to go to games. But when I do look at it, I can't get to games like I used to. As I said, I could go to about 30 games a season. I could get to I could get to about 10 away games a season. Okay, which is quite a decent number of away games. Very hard now to get to many away games. Very hard. Don't know where the tickets have gone. Where have these fans? Have we suddenly got an influx of fans who could have gone to those games but weren't going and have suddenly decided to go? I don't think so. I don't think so in the numbers that that it must be happening because I can't get the tickets anymore. So, but people focus on themselves, and that's an issue. You don't look at the fan base overall. You focus on yourself. If the system is benefiting you, why change the system? Why complain about the system? Why complain and have the system change, which might not benefit you? It's human nature. It's natural. Most people are selfish and think about themselves. But I said this day will come where it's harder and harder to get away tickets, and people are complaining. People said, "Hang on, I've been to all the games I can, and suddenly I'm dropping down. I can't get to these away games." One of the reasons you got I've complained about this before, the 18 to 25 category at City, where they get 5% of the seats ring fenced. Now that's not a lot, but in a 3,000 allocation, they're getting 150 tickets. Now they haven't got the points like somebody else has, but they get preference. There's no other categories that get preference, special treatment, preference like that, apart from the hospitality, in my opinion. So there's fewer tickets available. You want to complain? You should have complained years ago when you fans were benefiting from the system as it was then. You didn't complain. Now, because systems changed a little bit, there's fewer tickets available potentially. You're not getting the tickets you want. You want to complain about it because it's affecting you. Football fans have to stick together, and they have to get their tribalism, their animosity against other fan bases. Got to set that aside. If you stick together, look at what happens when fans complained about the European Super League. They put the tribal loyalties aside. Okay, slagged off some of the clubs that wanted to go in the Super League, but they put them aside, and fans en masse, en bloc said, "We don't want this." If fans get together, it's important that they do. The spectacle, they have to, it's a product. Football is a product, and it's sold around the world. And if you see, stadiums half full, yeah, no noise, no crowd noise, no atmosphere, it detracts from the products. As I said, you saw that in we saw that issue in the COVID times where there were no crowds. It has an impact. It was soulless. It was soulless watching some of that football. All right, if you're a Liverpool fan, because you ain't got any soul. You ain't got any soul, guys. And your team won the league title and no one was there to witness it. Fantastic. But seriously, even I can't get away from the tribalism, guys. I apologize. But seriously, fans need to get together, have one central voice and think about each other. Don't think, the system's benefiting me. I'm going to benefit from it. But it's hurting somebody else. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to complain about it. Because then what leg have you got to stand in when it hurts you? Who's going to come and support you? Why should anybody support you if you didn't support others? So fans have to get together, make a stand, because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that City fans have to take the day off work for an 8 o'clock kickoff. It is absolutely scandalous. It is scandalous. And it happens time and time again. Happens too much. The London clubs play at Wembley, okay, for the FA Cup final or the League Cup final. We've got to come down from Manchester. It costs us an arm and a leg. It costs us. You've got to do your travel. If it's an evening kickoff, you've got to stay over or come back through the night. It's much, much more expensive. Local fans, get the training, get the tubing or whatever. It's much, much simpler, much, much cheaper, much, much easier for them. And it's not fair on us fans enough. But as I said, fans need to put their tribal differences aside, get together. And once you get together, you can make a difference. We've seen it before. We have to do it. And we'll see it again. If we get together as generally as a group of all different fan bases, we can make change. Change can happen, and it can be for the better, and it should be for the better for us genuine fans, local fans who go to games. Guys, if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe. If you can hit that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Always nice to get the thumbs up. It's always nice to get the likes in, guys. And as I said, put your comments in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you've got to say on this subject. See you around, Blues.